Okay, so in this session I want to talk about rounding of answers, which means how many decimal places there are in an answer and how many significant figures. So in this, and that depends on what the operations are. So what do I mean by significant figures? Significant figures refers to the number of digits that there are in a number. So this first one, 20.1, has 3 significant figures and 1 decimal place. The 31.45 has 4 significant figures and 2 decimal places, and this one has 3 significant figures and 1 decimal place. So the answer that we give has to reflect what we have here. And there are different rules. So if I, for example, to solve this equation, first of all, I'm going to do a multiplication. All right, so for multiplication, the rule is when I multiply or divide two numbers, the result has the same number of significant figures as the factor with the smallest number of significant figures. So here I'm multiplying a 20.1 times 31.45, which is going to give me an answer that has that's going to be more than 100. So it's going to give me 632.145. But the answer, if I apply this rule, I can't have more than 3 significant figures because this one has 3 significant figures, this has 4, so the answer of this calculation can only have 3 significant figures, so that would be 632. Now, so I have to bear that in mind, but until I've finished the calculation, I keep all of the decimal points, all of the figures until I've finished. So for the next stage, I've got a subtraction, 632.145 minus 25.6. Now, when I'm doing addition or subtraction, I have another rule, and that is that the result has the same number of decimal places as the factor with the smallest number of decimal places. So in this case, this has 1 decimal place because that's how it's written. It's 3 significant figures but 1 decimal place. This one also has 3 significant figures because if you remember from above, we're not going to be counting this. And it has 0 decimal places because when I did this multiplication, my answer is only 3 significant figures. So this has 0 decimal places, this has 1 decimal place, so my answer is only going to have 0 decimal places. So if I do this subtraction, I get 606.545. But because I'm not going to be counting the decimal places here, I'm going to be rounding it to get rid of these decimal places. So the answer is 603. I have to round this up so that becomes 607. All right, 3 significant figures, and in fact I should be also saying 0 decimal places because 0 decimal places because the final result is actually a subtraction, so it's the decimal places that count more than the significant figures. So so this should be actually 0 decimal places. Okay, so the correct answer is 607 for this equation.